And you hear a lot of talk about the one big beautiful bill. I want to talk about the one big beautiful bill, but I want to talk first about the one big beautiful agenda, because it didn't start with the piece of legislation that was passed by Congress a couple of weeks ago. It started when Donald J. Trump took office and said, you know, if you want to build something in Mexico or China or some other foreign country and dump it into the United States of America, you are going to pay a big fat penalty. You're going to pay a tariff before you dump these products into our country. And you know what that did? That put the entire world on notice that America was back, and if you wanted to build and invest in America, you were going to be rewarded. But if you wanted to build and invest somewhere else, you were not going to be rewarded. And that put the entire world on notice, and it had to happen. Because for 40 years, while those great American factories closed their doors, we know what went right along with them. It was great American jobs, it was great American dignity, and it was great American wages. And we know that because we're making smarter decisions in Washington, D.C., we are going to reward all of you for the great work that you're doing, and we're going to reward American companies for investing in American workers, not foreign workers, for a change. And I want to talk about the one big beautiful bill because if the penalties, if the tariffs that we're charging foreign companies to access American markets, that was step one. Step one was to tell every foreign company that if you want to access to American markets, you ought to build in America, otherwise you're going to pay a big fat tariff. That was step number one. And step number two was just a couple of weeks ago, where you saw the President of the United States sign the one big beautiful bill. And here's what the one big beautiful bill means for you in very concrete terms. Number one, we're going to see take-home pay go up in the United States of America. In this district, probably $7,000, $8,000 per family over the next 3 to 4 years. We're going to see your taxes cut. If that big beautiful bill hadn't passed, you all would have gotten a tax increase to the tune of thousands of dollars to each and every single one of you. And we happen to believe that you all work very hard for your money. You ought to keep it, not the federal government. Ain't that right? That one big beautiful bill makes it easier to invest in American energy and American energy workers, because if you want to build and manufacture great American steel, we all know that it helps to have cheap, reliable American energy to build that steel with. So we're going to invest in American energy workers. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to stop buying oil and gas from foreign countries, and we're going to buy it right here at home in Ohio and Pennsylvania. And for all the workers, it means a few very distinct things. We're going to cut taxes on overtime. You know what it means? 25% of Ohio workers work at least one overtime shift a year. Raise your hand if you've worked an overtime shift in the past year. That's a lot of you. And every single one of you, when you work an overtime shift, the federal government is not going to take a dime at that overtime pay, because if you're spending hard hours away from your family, the federal government ought to keep its hands the hell out of your pocket when you're doing it. And that's one thing the big beautiful bill changed. You hear Mike talk about no taxes on tips. I know you guys are not tipped workers, but I know you rely on a lot of folks who are tipped workers. When you go to a restaurant and you have a single mom who's busting her ass, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, I don't think that she ought to have to pay taxes on those tips that she gets for a hard day's work. So the one big beautiful bill eliminated taxes on tips for our servers and for a lot of other folks as well. That's something that's going to benefit communities right here in Northeastern Ohio. And the final thing I want to talk about is if you are building a great American facility, if you're expanding a great American manufacturing facility, we are going to reward you in the tax code. This sounds crazy. I almost didn't believe it myself, but did you know that if you built a great American factory 10 years ago, you would actually get penalized compared to if you built that great factory in China or somewhere else? So why don't we change the tax code? And that's exactly what we did, to where if you build or expand a great American factory, the federal government is going to reward you instead of penalize you for a change. I think that's the biggest provision in the big, beautiful bill. Invest in American workers, invest in American companies, and your government is going to fight right alongside you to build those great American dreams. That's a very good thing. And you know, in some ways, my friends, it's so simple. It is so simple. You need a government that works for you for a change. You need a government that makes it easier for your employers and for yourselves to invest and build wealth right here in the United States of America. You need a government that makes your life easier and not harder, and that's what the Trump administration is committed to doing every single day. So